Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Lee, and here is an update to the horror environment that I was making, the haunted cornfield maze. I believe last video we got as far as creating the land, we created the door, created the actual maze and the barn. Here I am adding light to the environment so that we can actually see what we're doing, because it's going to be pretty dark at night. And so yeah, this video is about just adding light into an environment like this. And if you like the video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And if this looks like a game that you might be interested in playing, please wishlist it on Steam when it becomes available, and let me know down in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in doing, or what you'd like to see the game become in order for you to want to wishlist it. So let's get into the video. Right, so I've just set the, back to night. I've left it a little bit more visible, even though it's still super difficult to see. And I think what I'm going to do is add some lights. Lights, do I want point or spotlights? I suppose something like that. But it's going to take a lot of them. So I could just have spooky lighting, essentially. Use the fact that it's a horror game to light the way. Or I have like a lantern and make it a bit more in keeping, which might look good. And then I could potentially use the lanterns as well to light the way as like a mechanic. Not like on cars, but as in a game mechanic. Let's have a look for a lantern. Right. Window, that's the one. Fab. Must be a simple lamppost lantern somewhere. Right, so in Fab, I imagine most of you used it, but if not, you just open it up like that. Lamp, maybe. And then if you don't want to pay it, price. Nope, don't want that one. Price. I knew that was going to happen. Back. Price. When it catches up. Free. And then you can choose from these. Now, like that one looks okay, but I'm more thinking like a stick with a candle on it, maybe, or something like that. Something, or like that, maybe. A bit more fiery, but that's not really farmy, is it? Right, what we gonna do? Oil lamps would make a degree of sense if you just, yes, oil lamps would make a degree of sense. That's the kind of thing I'm thinking, but that's too stylized. At the moment, I'm leaning towards the oil lamp. Is that the one I just saw? And just create our own post for it to hang off. Have a little look, see if there's anything better. Save yourself work where you can, but put it in where you need to. Right, I'm going to shift this over to my other screen. I'm going to search oil lamp, because I think that's the way we're probably going to go with this. There is an oil lamp. I'm going to drag it in. And that's massive. However, there we go. There does seem to be different elements, so I'm hoping the glass is one element, so I can basically find an emissive, which I know I've already got because I've used it before. Emissive. Searching all. That's spelt wrong. I'm going to copy it, browse back to this one, paste it here, rename it. Oil lamp. And try. Oh no, that's gone in the middle. Is that like a little light bulb it's got on the go? Right, gonna have to. Okay, that's gonna be super bright. That's a bit disappointing. That is disappointing. And if oh no, there you go. That's all I wanted it to do. So it was just this element. It's a shame that this hanging thing is down there, but we can sort that. We can work with it. So I'm going to adjust the size 0.1, something like that. And at the moment we're only getting the emissive light, but that's okay. In fact, what I'm going to do, just so we can work and see what we're doing, is add another light. It's going to be not a spotlight. I don't want a spotlight. I wanted a point light. Point light. There we go. And then I'm just going to go to all, and I'm pretty sure I've got like a wooden beam I've used before. Wood. Shelf. Wood. Damaged. Small wood beam, we might be able to work with that. Pop these back on. 90°. Right, I'm not sure about this one. It doesn't quite have the look I was going for, but it might work. Looks more like just a fence post, but that might work. Oh, no, that's gone a completely different direction. Yeah, no, that one looks terrible. Look at that. Right, I'm going to search wooden beam over here on Fab. Wood beam. There we go. Got a massive wooden beam here now. Well, not massive, but, you know, chunky. And increase the size. In fact, we don't want it that thick. We just want it taller. And then obviously go into as much detail as you want. I want it to be pretty detailed because this is going to be for an actual game. Eventually, obviously the video I might just show the principles and then I'll edit it a bit more for the game, so it doesn't take absolutely forever. I think if we rotate that around, that'll look a bit better. Just play with it till you're happy. Gonna go ahead and turn that off so I've got more control. That looks pretty good, I think. And if I play from here, so I'll get a sense of the height. Yeah, that's pretty good. It seemed like it might be a bit small to begin with, a bit short, but actually that's fine. Save all. And then I basically just want something now to look like it's actually hanging off it, like a plant, hanging plant thing. You know, you have them in gardens. Not sure what to call it though to search for it. Let's just try hook maybe. Oh yeah, that one works. Potentially. Yeah, I can make that one work, I think. So just searched hook and found this. It's coming a bit wonky. Let's try and get it working. Something like that. Obviously it's too big at the moment, but we'll size it in a moment. It's not perfectly rotated, but we'll sort it. I'm going to go 0.5. That has potential. Still kind of chunky though. That's the kind of look we're going for. But this is still too chunky. That might work. Oh no. Okay, where was it? There. That. Something like that. Get it lined up. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So now that I'm happy with that, I've got the lamp selected, the hook selected, and the beam selected, and I'm gonna go ahead and group. Now I could go up to actor and create a new mesh, but I'm not sure I need to for this particularly. Oh, and then we position the light as well, wherever you want the light, so that when the light's gone, it looks like this is producing this light. And the fact that it's a oil lamp means we probably want the light color to be a bit warmer. So we can either change the light color, or we can just find, am I looking at it? Where is it? So we've got the intensity, okay, we've got the attenuation radius. Temperature, that's what I'm looking for. Use temperature, and you actually drop it down to say 4500, I think. It's usually pretty good. No, that's too much. 5000. 6,000, 5,500. That gives a bit of a warmth to it, I suppose. And then this one I might find the emissive again and warm it up a tad. Something like that. Not a massive difference. Maybe warming up a tad more. Save, come back here. Make sure it's applied to both. I don't want to overdo it, so I think that's fine. You can obviously play with it if you want to. And then group the lot, regroup. And now we've got this, we could just knock about. So move it there at the beginning. Then it's up to us how often we have them. So Alt to copy, Shift to drag the whole thing along. And then make sure we just tuck them in wherever we want them. Maybe utilize those spaces. Alt and Shift, something like that. Is that? Yeah, I think that's where we turn. We'd probably benefit from having the lights a bit brighter while we're setting these, make it a bit quicker. Ah, I've gone the wrong. No, I haven't. It is. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm just going to bring the light in a bit more visible. Okay, you know, I'm going to make it completely visible. Like that. Oh, bloody thing. Right. Then it depends how often you want them, really. Move it along. If you grab these two, you can adjust them easier. Pop that there. Something like that. And this is kind of the tedious bit. And obviously, with the light being on, we can see better to place things, but we have no idea how effective the lights are being. So you just kind of put them as far apart as you think you need them. Maybe you don't even need them to illuminate everything. And you can always just place them strategically and then twist them around later when you're happy where they are. Something like that. That looks okay. Then this is the entrance to the center bit, so we might want it to be maybe two sides, maybe We have this. Obviously, you don't want too many. I've got it on static. The lights. I bet I've not even set it to static ever. Group, ungroup, and it's stationary. Right, find the first one that we did. Right, so that one's number 95. Find this one. Group, ungroup. Find just the light so we know what number it is. 44. No, well, we didn't do that many of them. Bloody hell. There's no way they're in order. Where's that one? Yeah, so why would they do that? Why would it not number as you're using them? So I could just select the numbers. Now 45 or whatever is right over there. Look, that's daft. Problem with that is then, well, that one's static because that one's all the way over there. I've already set that. These are stationary, so they're gonna draw more performance. If they're too close together, they're gonna conflict. Just make sure they're not too close together, I think, is the key here. Which we can do. It's this section that's going to be the problem. Let's just crack on. We'll sort that if it becomes a problem. Alright, so I'm going to plonk that there. Plonk that there. Move that a little bit so that we can use less. That's fine. And that one was the annoyances. No, that's my fault. I should have remembered. That's fine. Maybe one there. Right down there. Right down this way. And then just trying to make sure we're getting all of the right bit there. Maybe there. Super interesting, this bit, I know. I do enjoy doing this, but I imagine it's... Why is that in the sky? I obviously grabbed the wrong part there and moved it vertically, which is why it's important just to grab these two, which are the two axes that we're working on. Right, I think we're getting there with this. Oh, we've got this section over here to do. We're nearly there. That one. Put one over in this corner. One, I think. Oh, now I've grabbed the wrong bit again. Delete, apply all because it's grouped. Highlight this and make sure we are grabbing just these two. One there. One there. Gosh darn, there's a lot of them. Right, I think that is a pretty decent job. We might find that we need more or less in certain places, but we can deal with that in a moment. Right, directional light, I should remember that up here and then I can just deal with it from there. But so blue, pretty dark blue. Reduce the bluiness of the blue. Look at the moon. because they're not that blue. Don't want it too white, just a tint of blue. And then pretty dark. That's too dark. Oh, that's pretty cool. I quite like that. That actually looks decent. And I'll add fog and things of that nature to make it look even better. And we start at the beginning here, play from here. And, alright, go back over here, grab the flashlight, turn that on. And that's pretty cool. And by having them stationary as well, rather than static, I think it is, we can then set these lights to flicker or to turn on and off, which we will probably do to help lead the way. Might do something to try and make it a bit more difficult to see through the corn. Although I do like that you can see them, but you can't like get to them necessarily. The flashlight helps as well for when you're close up. There's these little gaps. Might spend some time filling these in. Oh, okay. Might be that I've actually put in a... See, I'm not sure if this is a path or if I've just worked my way through the corn there. And it's not very clear how you get back out. So I think I do need maybe even like a fence or hay or something to just make sure you go, ah, okay, that's part of it. That's not part of it. This is it. You don't really realise these issues until you start playing it. So like that, I'm not sure that's entirely supposed to be a route. A bit lost, but you know, that's the point. And obviously in the game, you'd have a map or something that would tell you where to go. So you might go straight forward, follow it around to the right. Okay, that's probably... Yeah, no, that's fine. So if you got as far as that, you'd know where to go. So you can see there's that one. You followed it around, you can see that there's two and a bit of a clearing. The fact that there's two kind of signifies that you've reached a bit of a clearing, I feel. They just need turning around a little bit. Something cracks off over here, then you go, oh, okay, get out of here. Then if we add some light in near the barn, lights, point light. And if we use a bit of this, in fact, we could potentially just use the whole thing, but if I'm going to get rid of... No, I'm going to use the whole thing, it's fine. Something like that, but then we don't need both. But I am going to ungroup, get the light, move it a little bit further out, and I'm going to set it to 2000, I think. And then up a little bit. And then if we get rid of that, that looks believable, and it makes the barn a bit more visible from further out. You can see the red door all the way over here. And now you can see that there's clearly a barn in the distance. Just wondering whether or not I want one further up, but how to justify it. Okay, I think I'm going to find the barn asset, open it up. Well, okay, that's huge. Dude, that's so huge. All right, there we go. Wow. Okay, and basically what I wanted to do is remove the collision and add customized collision. So show simple collision. So that's it, you can't get in the barn, that's why. Collision, remove collision, and then hopefully it's not going to be too performant, too much of an issue in regards to performance. To use, where is it? Am I looking at the right thing? Not done this for a little bit. Block all. I don't think this is it. Custom, is it? Ah, there we go. Use simple collision. No, use complex as simple. There you go. Save file, save all, map. And now this should allow you to go inside. There you go. And it should all have proper collision on it now. And then add a fresh point light, point light, and that one could go, too fast again. That one can go inside. And then 2500, say, illuminate everything. And, you know, I could add a swinging light bulb or something in a bit. But that illuminates things reasonably well. Oh, hang on. G, so I've copied. And I'm going to move that over here because it's a bit dark over in this corner. However, I don't want it that bright, and I don't want it that to affect that much space. So 1 to 50 maybe. And they're going to bother each other because they're overlapping, but I can sort that later. So that does a pretty decent job of that. And then I can populate this with materials, can add flooring if I want to, you know, work tables, tools, things of that nature. And whether or not I want to use this for something, which, you know, maybe I'll have a, not quite a scene, because I'm trying to avoid heavy animation, but maybe I'll have some kind of, you know, indication that an event happened here, someone was murdered or something along those lines, depending on the storyline. But I reckon that is probably a pretty decent place to stop. Obviously you can add rain, you can add wind, you can add additional background sounds, but this is pretty much the cornfield maze, the corn maze that I wanted. The lighting's kind of there. I think that looks decent. Take a little snapshot and we'll probably make that the thumbnail, so act surprised when you see it. Right, so I think I will leave that there for now. Thank you very much for checking out the video. Please do make sure to keep your eye out for Sleepover at Sam's. I am a solo dev, first time making a game. It is going to be good, because I'll make sure it's good. Please wishlist it when it becomes available. I'll leave links to like Twitter/X, where I'll put out updates on YouTube. So please follow there. I'd love a you know, if you subscribed, liked, commented. It really helps the video, and obviously you know, helps push sales when the game eventually comes out. And it will be a good game. So if you're into horror games, if you're into solo dev indie games, It and Stranger Things vibes, it will be good. So, you know, keep your eye out for it. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.